that went up and civilized the damn caveman. Well, it's interesting that Michael Crichton, he said that he got, it's even in the book, if you buy the book, because the book is now called The 13th Warrior. The original book was called The Eaters of the Dead. But they're selling it as The 13th Warrior or The Eaters of the Dead. But when you buy the book, he explains that I got this from some Arab guy's manuscripts. So there had to have been some type of Moorish manuscripts that this guy wrote this elaborate story on these people that needed to be civilized by the 13th Warrior, which just so happened to be an Arab. The only Arabs in Europe was the black Arabs, or what you call Moors, under the banner of Islamic. You see what I'm saying? Under the banner of Islamic, man. I might want to read this again. I read it the last time, but there's an entire series of this. Now, they have these. Remember I was telling you, I told you that there's a book they're putting out, all the stuff they're putting out in comic books. This is a book on the Moors. But there's about 10 books. This one is called The Tribunals of Hermes, Iberia. Tribunals of Hermes, Iberia. Remember I talked about that the last time, and I read this passage on page 70. On page 70, where it says, the Maltas on the Moors. The Moors, they are an incredible people. They do not think, do you not think? Somebody have to slow down. They are fierce warriors, for one thing, but if they had a decent leader among them, to pull them together, we would be speaking Arabic in Barcelona in less than a year, or within a year. As it is, the Moors are just being beaten back by Christian armies ganging up on them, on Moorish individual armies. And it says, the losses of Moors are not by poor fighting ability. What are we talking about here? What are we talking about now? Slow down. Oh yes, the Moors. You know that they are not just great warriors, they are probably the most intelligent people in the world outside of the Order of Hermes. And maybe they are tied with the Jews. Now we know that your book, the 13th tribe, Arthur Koestler's 13 tribes, which before he died, John Henry Clark says one of your best books, where this white Jew is converted into Judaism in Spain. Arthur Koestler's 13 tribes taken from Moorish manuscripts. I'm going to get ready to give you another book. I'm going to show you how they're running this shit in a few minutes. So they're tied with the Jews, yeah, because they're the one that started the white Jew. And it says, you know those new numbers, the others that are different numerals of all other numbers from 1 to 9, plus the number that means nothing. These numerals are Moorish. So they're actually talking about, when they're having this conversation, that what we're talking about, the numbers 1 through 9, and the one that means nothing, 0, are Moorish numbers. They're saying that they brought these numbers to Europe by way of the Moors. Okay, let me find my place again. These are Moors, these numbers are Moorish. The Moors have some of the best mathematics, philosophers, architects, and doctors in the world. Sometimes I think that the Order of Hermes should pack it up and pack up everything and move to Africa, where we can take advantage of the Moorish mind. This is in a comic book now. Now, first, when the Tribunals of Hermes is black, because Hermes, the Hermetic material and all of the stuff on alchemy and stuff was Moorish material. So the Moors came up and started the Knights Templars, which gives you your Grail mythology. So like I told you before, if you want to get into some real Moorish mythology, go study the King Arthur's and the Knight Table. And the Grail mythology that came by way of Ireland, and then once Britain conquered Ireland, they got the story, and Camelot becomes Britain. But Camelot was talking about a future place in the future that wasn't established yet, that they talk about on the first Highlander movie 1, where he said, oh, we have to reincarnate and we are immortal until we have a great gathering in a place that's not established yet. So they were talking about the Camelot was America. That's why even the Kennedys call this shit Camelot. But you are the damn ones that's the King Arthur's court, or the Knights of the Round Table, of people that will be established in the ends of the earth, as the Hermetic material says in Walter Scott's book, Hermetica. and in Copenhagen's book Hermetica, and in G.R.S. Mead's book Hermetica, G.R.S. Mead's book Thrice Great Hermes, 3 volumes, and in the Nag Hammadi Library, edited by James Robinson. So we are those particular people. You see what I'm saying? But they drop on all this in the actual. Now there's about 10 of these books on the tribunals of Hermes, and all this shit is Moorish science. In the comic book store, Oxford Comics is up on Piedmont. You know, they used to be with the Oxford, but they closed down. But the comic book store is still there. Oxford Comics on Piedmont, and there's a whole volume of these things put out by White Wolf Publishing from Stone Mountain, Georgia. You see, what White Wolf Publishing from Stone Mountain, Georgia, has a whole thing. Now, it's interesting because here's a book. See, this is the way they do things. They don't put it in comic books, or they'll put it in novels. That way, if you make the argument that I know some stuff now, and they ask you where you got it from, and you tell them a comic book and a novel, they go, that's not real. First of all, you don't even need to be arguing about fucking white people to white people on some knowledge. Because first of all, you can't convince a liar. This man is a liar, a world liar. And that's the inferiority of us to think that nothing is real until he gives it to us.
That's right.
So therefore, I don't even get in an argument with white people. You can't convince a liar. You understand what I'm saying? Because why am I going to argue with you? Am I going to try to establish some type of dialogue and common ground with you, the fucking enemy?
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? When I know that you are a liar and continue to lie. Did you see all these stories on the damn millennium? Where's Charles Fruit? The brother who gave you the blood plasma. I mean, we're talking about hundreds of inventions. Well, we're not talking about suspect stuff that we don't know about that. We're talking about major inventions, inventors. Where are all these people that so-called they lining up the millennium and saying all these people that made great contributions to science? They didn't give you one black person. They give you a goddamn Louis Armstrong? This nigga grinning and skinning? And you don't think that's by design? When they can give you this fucking hole up in this book here? And I say that now. In here with little Kim with her titties all out. Now, first of all, I must preface myself again. And, you know, all this stuff here. Now, first of all, let's preface this and all because, see, also, that's a form of the programming. So I see, so for the mere fact that I cursed and made some people jump, that means that you're programmed. See, these are programming, these are certain programs that we have received since we were children. And you got to break that. That's all the stuff that don't flow, the spiritual stuff of the millennium. You got to break all forms of programming. And I told you, well, these are not curse words, so the mere fact that I say them, you understand what I'm saying? You're supposed to be above that.
Right.
Now, we're not talking about going to no Antioch Baptist Church or out here in the street with, you know, with all the rest of the people out here. We're talking about you. You got to break this program.
Right.
So it was spiritual. The more spiritual I got, the more foul my mouth got. Here's a book called The Dictionary of the Khazars. The Dictionary of the Khazars. K-H-A-Z-A-R-S. A lexicon novel. See, they put it on there. The Dictionary of the Khazars. A lexicon novel by Milrad Padik. M-I-L-O-R-A-D. M-I-L-O-R-A-D P-A-D-I-C. And this is a book on the Jews and how they got to be the Jews and everything about the Jews coming from Spain. But they put it in a novel. A national bestseller. That means that the Jews bought this thing up. The Dictionary of the Khazars. But when you go to the things, I want to learn some of this stuff, you go and you might not find nothing in the history section because that's a form of the science now, is to put it in novel form. You the only people that need to validate shit to white people. Get the book and make it be validity. It's, you know what I'm saying? So this is a book, The Dictionary of the Khazars, and it's all on that Moorish, Jewish thing, as well as how they control the world and all that shit. But they'll put it in a novel, so there you go, oh, no, that's a novel. No, that's a novel. Then again, you ain't got no business even arguing with Jews. This is for you to learn. You know what I'm saying? You ain't out it, you're going to go back to them. Because it's not about that. Like what? Because that's the slave mentality. Somehow, if we come to common ground and I let them know I know knowledge, I know some stuff, that they'll like us. Now, the Moors got to get out of that shit. And we need to break this down right now. And you hear me on this. The Moors got to get out of this thing thinking that if the white man we know we Moors and the white man will respect us. The white man already know you Moors.
You know?
Now, I'm not telling you not to deal with what you want to deal with, but you got to get out of this damn fantasy. You see what I'm saying? He already know you Moors. Now, it was interesting because one of the women, she's from Florida, and she's doing the nationalization thing, the nationalization movement where you get nationalized as a sovereign movement. This woman said that when she went to take a class in constitutional law in Indianapolis, Indiana, it said that the teacher got up and came back to her and shook her hand and said, I'm glad to see you in there. I'm glad that I had the chance to teach you. As if they already knew who she was. Another white person came up and said, you know, my parents taught us about the Moors and taught us about you all when we were young, but we are not allowed to talk about it. So they already know. They already know. Now, my point here is on this, is don't be fooled. When they say good news for black America, good news for black America, about black America, but why aren't many blacks celebrating? What they're getting ready to do is they're getting ready to set us out. Because they're scared. But don't think because a person, now my point is this here now. If a man come and give you $1 million, don't be no damn fool now. But I'm saying out of respect for the ancestors, which you are the same slaves that died before, so you're getting confiscated for your own ass getting whipped in slavery. Yeah. But out of respect for that, you need to do it this way. We speak with forked tongue. I'm going to take your money, but I still ain't signing no goddamn peace treaty with your ass.
You know?
You understand what I'm saying? So when they go, wait a minute, hold on. Why you killing us for? I thought we paid you. No. We speak with forked tongue just like your ass. Yeah. So my point is, try to hand you some damn money. Take the money. I don't give a damn. We got 2 days left. Take the money, go to the damn mall, buy you some boots, and then throw the rest in the fucking toilet. I don't care. Buy somebody, set the whole mall out with some fucking Haagen-Dazs, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But they gon' but this is the key. In the millennium, you're going to see white people, they're going to start paying us off. They're scared.
What about the black people? Oh, there you go.
There it is. That's what I'm doing. National Constitution, December 14, 1999. They got the picture of the black Jesus up in here. You don't know why they got this shit on here. Why they got this fucking see? Let me tell you, they banging up against the wall. Look, Elijah Muhammad said you'll know the end when there's infighting amongst the elite, and they also say they'll give you anything when it's time for their ass to go. Now, they ain't knowing more than us that this shit is up. So therefore, they put the black Jesus here. They got a picture going to pass it around, but the people don't want to see it. They got a brother up in here with dreadlocks. And I said we should have moved this thing up, but when they come out of it, I got, you know, just move it up. Anything Christianity, they're going to plaster the world with it, so don't have to worry about it. You'll get a picture of this type of thing and all. Anybody want to see it? It's okay, it's on the internet. So it's only for the people, the people that's computer literate is on the internet. They had a whole contest with all types of artists from around the world to do this black Jesus. Now wait a minute, they didn't do a Chinese man, they didn't do no Arab. You see what I'm saying? They did a Negro. You see what I'm saying? And I don't know, you kind of look kind of feminine up in here. Well, yeah. So when I saw it, I said, damn, that looks like my mama a little bit. My mama said, how much does it look like me? It's a woman? Yes. The model is a woman. See, it's very key. Because, see, they're doing some stuff here and also, you know, they're trying to kill 2 birds with 1 stone, like the movie Dogma. How many people go see the movie Dogma? Go see the movie Dogma. In the movie Dogma, they say J.C. was a black man. Jesus Christ was a black man. They had your boy and then Chris Rock was saying, no, they didn't have me. He's the 13th apostle. They said, why you ain't about it? He said, because I was a brother. He said, Jesus was a brother. And the people in the movie did not deny it. So they had a little white girl. She was a lineage of Jesus. And the guy said, that means you part black, ain't you? So wait a minute. If you can see now, they put it out there that Jesus was a black man. See, all this shit is connected. Don't let nobody fool you. You don't get nothing not unless it's leading to one thing else. So whenever they put out the movie Dogma, which they dogging for the damn Catholic Church and all this mundane, organized religion, they dogging it. You see what I'm saying? But first of all, they say that Jesus is a black man, then they don't deny it in the movie. Then they say that God is a woman. Then they got Atlantis Morris said they proved a white woman, but you know, there was enough of them to say JC was a damn black man. That's because they scared. You see what I'm saying? All this shit is connected. Just like they got a movie called Deuce Bigelow, Male Gigolo. Now this thing here is the ultimate disrespect of black people. They got a guy on there about 400-500 pounds. And now this is the science.
Big boy? Yeah.
He's
Big boy.
400-500 pounds. And he's playing a woman. Now this is the key. He's not playing a transsexual, transvestite, or he, she in a dress or whatever. His role is actually a woman. He's playing a woman. And he's talking like this. So what they're trying to say is say that black people are some type of freaky behavior. Then they got the biggest clown ever, Eddie Griffin. What's it? Yeah. He's in there. He's acting like a complete fool. He's in a damn swimming pool, dropping food in the swimming pool and picking it up, eating it. They just dogging black people in this shit. But that's what our way is. It's just like the same thing now with the WB. They got all the black people to make them big. And the number one affiliate was Atlanta, based on all these black people. Now that shit is all white. But if you notice, they're not doing comedy. They don't have that many white comedy shows. Now you mean to tell me you can't put some black young people in college or in a situation of love roll? Niggas will watch that shit, and white people will watch it too, because that rapper and all that has made this thing so popular as far as black people, you see, especially around the world, that they would watch it too. But that's key. You see what I'm saying? You see? They got what they have? They got one?
Which one?
Yeah, City of Angels on CBS is premiering January 16th.
Oh, they got one.
Right at the same time as the X-Files.
Oh, okay, well, see, you see, but my point is all that, you don't have none of these little black romance things and all. You see what I'm saying? That's all part of the whole system and all. But it's all part of the whole system. Now, I want to deal with something right now. I got all this on my mind, so let me deal with it. There's a movie now, and I'm just going to, now, you got to listen close to what I'm saying. You got to listen real close to what I'm saying. There's a movie out called Harrison Bergeron. Harrison Bergeron. It's a book. It's Kurt Vonnegut's book, short story, Harrison Bergeron, but you want to get the movie. Now, the movie is out of print. The only way you can get it is through Blockbuster. And they only have like 1 or 2 copies, or maybe 1 copy, and you might have to go to different. Thank God you can do your Blockbuster card all over the city. Although they do have one at West End, first come, first served though. Now, this movie is based on if you smart, you flunk. If you dumb, you pass. Very key, because the whole key is they're trying to dumb down the people. And they say, we don't want no individuals, we want everybody to be even. You see, equality. But instead of bringing the doggone aptitudes up as far as your mentality, they got everybody dumb. They got these devices on them. And whenever you start smartening up, they tighten these devices, and they with this electromagnetic whatever force field, and what it does, it makes you dumber. Now, in the movie, now, this is the key. When I was around, I think sometime right after I turned 10, from that day on, I started recording the dates. I can tell you, you can tell me something, I can tell you what year it is. And whatever it is, and I think that helped me even with my lecture. I can always tell you what year something is, and I never forget the year. And I remember the brother, this was a brother named Stovepipe. He'd be in the community for 6 months, he'd be in jail another 6 months. Every time I knew him, he's always been in prison. But he always knew the dates. And he said, always remember the year, because you'll never be wrong. Because months, that's getting a little tedious, but the year. So, it's interesting, because the movie came out in 1994. Okay? 1994. 1994. So that means the movie came out in 1994. The movie can be shot 6 months to a year before it actually comes on. Okay? Now, remember the date, 1994. Now, in the movie, they're talking about this equality, and all the sports speakers have to wear these bands to give them a handicap, because they can't have real advanced talent because everybody's supposed to be on the same level. Meanwhile, because the whole key is to dumb you down. And that's what they got fucking #1 BET is for that. That's to dumb your ass down. If they can dumb you down, you see what I'm saying? Whereas knowledge is non-existent, then what will happen